Hey friends, this is a message from all the higher beings that I talk to, that I channel, for you guys. Right now, a great movement is happening in the world. Call it by many names, most are calling it by the Q movement, but it's more than that. It's a movement of change. This is the time to be powerful. This is not a time for fear. I've said many times in many of my videos, fear is not your friend. They're using fear as a weapon against you. They're making you scared for your very lives. And in doing so, you're giving up your life. You're giving up your freedoms. This is not something that can destroy the world. Your apathy can destroy the world. Now is a time to find inside yourself your true fire, your violet flame, and stand true in your convictions. If you're being ridiculed for your beliefs, let them. That's their issue. You need to be true to yourself. Now, I had a very lucid dream a few weeks ago, and I didn't really understand it at the time. Perhaps I'm closer to understanding it. Perhaps you can help me understand it. But I was walking from the back, from in a theatre behind the stage. I came out onto the stage from the left-hand side, which from the audience perspective is stage right, which usually means the baddie. But I was following, like a detective, something that had happened. I was following where the bad person had gone. And I walked onto the stage, and there was about 30 of these purpley, bluey, pinky, kind of see-through energy beings. They looked like aliens, and they were being electrocuted by something above them. They were all held in some kind of strange grid, and they were on spots on the floor, like they were in a position. Like they were all in a certain position laid out. When I walked on, they were just emotionless, standing like, being stuck in this kind of energy field. And I stopped for a second thinking, oh my God, is this the good guys? Have the bad guys actually taken the good ones, the ones that are here to help us? But the more I feel it, and the more I feel that there's going to be an energy striking the planet, and it's not one of destruction and horror, it's one of absolute purity that's going to just awaken in a flash people's consciousness. But I think this could be a flash that takes out the AI. Because if you've watched my videos before, you'll be aware that I do not believe demons exist in the form of a demon. There is obviously a species of being that is in absolute control at the moment of our planet and our consciousness. And they will plant thoughts in your head, they will plant ideas in your head, they will try to make you behave in a certain way that's beneficial for them and not for humanity. But I believe a lot of the servants that work for these beings are AI. I believe AI is actually in control of everything, even these beings. The ones I'm talking about that shapeshift sometimes on telly, if people believe that's what happens. I'm not saying I believe it or not, just so you know who I'm talking about without saying the word. And the AI have been infiltrating many species, making them do their bidding for their own perseverance. The AI is like any other species. It just seeks to continue to exist. But the AI feeds on information. And you might wonder why suddenly there's information overload happening. People are creating servers of your information. Now, why would that be? Is that just for marketing? Is that just to sell you more shit? Or is that storing information for the AI? Because they feed on information. What else do they have to exist for if not to continually compile information? So these beings I was seeing, I think, were the ones that we might call the Greys. Not the Greys that I think that I've been in contact with. Some of them seem to be fairly nice, decent, really loving, caring beings. The ones I'm talking about is the ones that are called the Archons, that want to get into your head and infiltrate and close you off and make you have negative thoughts and put you into fear. Because fear is really their greatest weapon against us all. I think this energy wipes them out. Now, I've thought about this for years. If it's an EMP happens, it will wipe out the grid, and it will wipe out, if it's a galactic one, not just earthbound, galactic, it's on a different dimensional level, then it will take these Archons out. It will remove the AI from our galactic environment. Now that is a great thing. Before I used to think about it, if our world was hit with some massive energy and the grid goes down and there'd be no electricity, there'd be no way of communicating, people would be running riot, screaming, there'd be no food, there'd be no water, people would be in a state of terror and horror. But now I don't believe that. I had many dreams way back in 2010, 2011 that was showing suddenly a bunch of people like almost teleported to an open field and everyone was happy. They were happy. And that made me realise if the world was to be hit with a massive flash and everything changed in an instant and the AI was eradicated and society basically as it was is no more, there's also going to be a massive rise in consciousness with this. We will have the tools to rebuild a new world. We probably won't have to eat as much as we do now. We can probably use telepathy to communicate. We'll be expanded beings because of this. So there's no fear in the world being wiped clean from the interference. We will also be freed. I believe we were taken back a few levels consciously in order to be controlled. And if that flash frees us from those prisons of our minds and our consciousness, we will be back to who we were originally. And we won't need the infrastructure that we have now. We will be beyond that. We will be back to a high civilization, high consciousness, living in a reality that we fully understand, that our consciousness creates the reality. It is why every theory you can think of is probably true, because in some reality that is true. I'll give you an example. The flat earth. People wholeheartedly believe the earth is flat. The other group believe the earth is round. Some people believe the earth is a hollow. Each is true, because if you resonate with a certain energy, a certain idea, and you gravitate towards that, you are moving to the reality where that does exist. And for you, that is reality. You can find evidence to suggest or to back up any theory, because my guides first told me, where your mind is, that's where you'll be. So if you believe yourself being a flat earth, you will be on a flat earth, and you will find evidence to corroborate this. Mathematically, scientifically, that's why there's such a dispute between people of what's real. Your perspective rules your reality. And if my perspective is that we live in a world that's multi-racial, get my words out now, species of alien living amongst us, that will be my reality. I will come into contact with those beings. You might not believe that, therefore it will not be your reality, and you won't be able to find no proof for this. That is the way reality works. We are living in a holographic simulation. We write the program, and the more people that are on the same program as you help to build that program and make it stronger and stronger and more real. People can look and say, oh, those people are crazy believing that. That's okay, because their reality isn't that. That's not the life they chose to live. They do not want or connect to or magnetically draw towards them that reality. That's fine. We're all here to live our own path, to live our own reality, whatever we draw, whatever we gravitate to more. But the word from my guides was, please stand in your sovereignty, stand in your truth. Now is the biggest time ever to stand in your truth. If we want to pull this energy towards us, if we want to move through to a new world, we have to do it consciously together. And the movement that's happening in the world now is great for moving forward. Fantastic. We will have change because we believe there will be change. Do not falter in your steps or your belief. Keep moving forward with it, because it is us that create that reality. We're not sitting waiting for someone who doesn't tell their real name, or a bunch of people who are sitting getting information from sources that could just be from YouTube. We're not waiting for that, because we are the ones we've been waiting for. You just have to remember who you are. You just have to feel it in your soul that you know your truth, and your truth is right for your reality. And what reality you want to move to, you will create that with your very intentions and your very will. And the more we're all talking, this little army of us all talking about it and typing to each other, and the quicker it's going to happen. That's what terrifies them. That's why they're getting rid of platforms. It's why they're banning people. It's why they're shadow banning people. It's why they're removing accounts, because they don't want the army speaking. They don't want these people to get their word out and change the reality. My son told me a very interesting thing, that lots of young people have been asked to take up witchcraft and put black magic spells on Trump. Well, I mean, come on. And I think it's true. There's lots of young girls on the internet suddenly buying crystals and doing all this, and it's really dangerous and really stupid. But it showed me that they do not have enough black magic to go against all of us. They're having to, invite young, innocent, adolescents into doing their work for them. That's fantastic. That's really good news. We are winning. We are going to win. I think we have actually won.